Apparently my videos are kind of weird, but I've always wondered, what is the largest cylindrical object you could fit up your ass without using lube? That was not on the original script. I've always wondered, are the people who watch weird videos weirder than the creators who post weird videos? And so I made a Google form so I could rank my viewers' most insane confessions. A few years ago, I was in my mum's room and I found a picture of a really hot girl in a bikini on the floor. I then snuck it back into my room and gooned to it later that night. Fast forward 2 and a bit years later, I was cleaning out my room and I found the picture. It turns out it was actually a picture of my mum when she was younger. Well, I mean, that's a bit of a curveball. You find out after 2.5 years of gooning to this picture that you were actually gooning to your mom. Why did your mom even have a picture of herself when she was younger, like in a bikini on the floor in her room 2 years ago? Whose fault is that? Is it her fault or is it your fault? I think it's a combination of both. I'm gonna say that's slightly questionable. It's definitely not calm. I think it's questionable. I tasted my dad's sperm. So when I was like probably 6 or 7, my mom and dad used to bang a lot. So when I was left home alone and I was looking for a toy I lost behind the door to their bedroom, I saw what I thought was a balloon, and so I blew on it and realized that there was some disgusting stuff in it, and I told my dad not to pee in balloons. Damn. So you thought your dad peed in a balloon, but you ended up blowing on a condom that had your dad's jizz in it. I mean, you were 6 years old, and so we really can't blame you. I don't think it's calm. Is it calm to taste your dad's sperm? Maybe it's slightly questionable. I once had a boyfriend named Lucas that would suspiciously use the bathroom after I used it when I was on my period. One day I had to use it again, and I saw him rummaging through the trash can looking for something, and he held up my wrapped up pad. It grossed me out so much that I broke up with him and blocked him on every single device. I hope I never see him again. I mean, yeah, it's definitely a little bit strange. I mean, what is he even doing with your pad? So he has the pad with the period blood on it. What is he doing? He's just sniffing it? Like, is he licking it, trying to eat it, trying to suck all the blood out of it? And I mean, couldn't he just ask you to like do that? I mean, if he asked you, it would be less weird compared to if he just, you know, specifically planned to always use the bathroom like while you were on your period. So you can't even use the bathroom without him just rummaging through the trash can. Okay, definitely a little bit weird. I think he needs to get help. He definitely needs help. I remember one time my friend Steve asked a girl out, and me being the good friend I am, I supported their relationship. A few years went by and it got to a point where they did the frickety. Steve got the girl pregnant, and to make matters worse, it turns out the girl was his cousin. Okay, what in the Alabama is this? Is this a regular occurrence? Wait, so it says me being the good friend I am, I supported their relationship. Wait, so you knew this entire time that Steve was dating their cousin, but you decided to support it because you were a good friend? Is that legal? I don't even know whether that's legal. And also, are you being a good friend if you're supporting like that sort of relationship? Wouldn't it be a better idea to just like unsupport that relationship, because like then like their children are gonna have like genetic issues and stuff? I'm gonna say it's slightly questionable. I think yeah, for Steve it's slightly questionable. Maybe it's you need help, maybe Steve needs help. So when I was in elementary school, I had a friend named Caden, and he was chill until one day he came to school and said that he fricked his cat. Well, we all thought he was joking until he left and came back a few days later and he thought he had an STD, and then the whole school found out. Moral of the story, do not stick it in your cat. Okay, you know what, that is it relatable or not? Like, I mean, sometimes the cat is like kind of fine. I'm gonna say that's like, honestly, that's pretty calm, honestly. Like, so, like, I mean, okay, I'm not encouraging you to do it, but like, you can't blame him. You really can't blame him, because look at them. Damn. You know the Stokes twins? I watch them, but damn, they are fine. I sometimes have fantasies about them, specifically Alan. I also licked a picture of it. Wait, you licked? I thought this was gonna say I liked a picture of him. No, you licked a picture of him. And I screenshotted some really hot frame and gooned to it. I have them on my wallpaper and like 100 hot pictures of them. I also tried to find their house on Google Maps, but it wasn't updated recently enough. I'll keep trying though. Also, in 5th to 7th grade, I stalked my crush. I liked him for 3 years straight, and I wanted to frick him so bad. I found his house and some really weird facts about him. I spent months trying to find his TikTok, and I gooned to my fantasies. And how's your day going? Bro, you're just a stalker. You're trying to find the house of the Stokes twins. What do the Stokes twins look like? You had such a big crush on these guys that you decided to try and stalk them, but then you managed to find your crush's house. You succeeded in stalking your crush. I think this is a very easy ranking. You need some help. You definitely need some help. Why are you trying to stalk everyone you have a crush on? One time I was home alone and I was stroking my dingling. For some reason, I decided to use drain cleaner as lotion because it was very slippery. Only after I finished did I realize my mistake. The drain cleaner, it was extremely basic, and so it basically burned and dissolved the outside of my pee-pee. It got inside too, and it also messed that up. Eventually, I had to go to the emergency room where I had to get a circumcision and get multiple skin grafts. My schlong now permanently curves to the right when I'm bricked. What was that thought process? You wanted some lotion to make it slippery, and so the first thing you grab is drain cleaner. Bro, do you understand how many chemicals are inside drain cleaner? Like, that is probably the worst thing you could have used as lotion. Like, you could have just used soap or anything, or even water. Water would have been like a much better alternative, because drain cleaner needs to be so strong and full of chemicals to like clean like this stuff. Because with this stuff, you're not going to get it off with like soap and water, and so you need some like pretty harsh chemicals to like get rid of it. But instead of using it on a drain, you used it on your dingling. I think you definitely need help. I don't know how you thought of using drain cleaner as lotion. Hey 11s, I'm here to confess that I stroke my dingling every time I watch your videos. I take a sit on my seat, I slowly take out my clothes and then my underwear. Right after, I grab my dingling with my hand and I slowly stroke it, picking random recent videos to goon at and shoot my load all over the screen. My moans and whispers are soft and quiet unless I stroke it faster than I usually do. I've been doing it for a while. Please give me some advice on how to help me stop this. What is wrong with you? Get out! Once when I was in 4th grade, I was on a bus, and I don't want to put this into great detail because that would make it really weird, but you know what? Fine, I'll do it. I'll put it into detail. So when I was in 4th grade, I had a certain fetish that involved with feet. So there was this girl I kind of liked, and when she was talking to her friend, I crawled under her seat and sniffed her ankle where her sock ended. It had a slight hint of must. I could tell that she'd been wearing them for multiple days on end because they looked like they were sticking to her skin a bit from the sweat. You could tell that she just got done doing exercise because there was a smell of dried sweat too. It was almost overpowering the other smells, but there was also an indescribably strange smell. It was like a sickly sweet smell with a stench to it. I didn't understand where it came from, but it was delicious, scrumdiddlyumptious, and okay, what is these words? I also tried sniffing her friends. Hers was actually good smelling. It was almost like she just changed them, but for some reason it smelled like perfume. That made no sense, and so I sniffed right above the ankle collar, the top of the hole that you put your foot in. It smelled worse than the other, so you could tell that she was currently sweating, but it was about to dry because half of it was soaking the sock. Okay, I can't continue reading this. This is you definitely need some help. So keep in mind, this is on a school bus, on a school trip. You just get down on the ground on all fours and you start sniffing other people's feet, like their ankles. I think you need some help. Definitely you need some help. So basically, I was in middle school and there was this really cute girl I saw. I really liked her, but she was really popular and I was afraid of getting rejected and bullied. So after class was over, I would help the teacher put up chairs for the end of the day, but this was actually so I could sniff her chair. I would then try to hold in the smell and then I would jerk off to it when I got home. This would repeat for about a week until I got caught by the teacher. This basically made the teacher call in my parents and have a talk. They ended up suspending me for 3 days and I was grounded until summer. Worth it 100%. Wait, so the only reason why you wanted to put the chairs up was so you could just go and sniff your crush's chair? Why would you do that? And what does the chair even smell like? It just smells like plastic. Surely it doesn't have a stench to it. Unless she farted in the chair. And then maybe you're attracted to her fart smell. I think you need help. You definitely need some help. The fact that you hold in the smell for the rest of the day and like keep it when you get home. Yeah, definitely you need some therapy. When I was 15 years old, I used to be really weird. I was really into older men. I'm a guy. And I used to go to the North Hertfordshire, the SEX offender registry, and find out where all the PDF files lived. And every single Saturday and Sunday when I had no school, I waited until 2 p.m. and I used to walk past as many SEX offenders' houses as I could, and so hopefully they would recognize my pattern and, you know, think I'm cute and maybe want to, you know what, me? What? Anyways, using this method, I finally got one. He asked me if I could buy him a paper every day from the local shop. He was 48 years old and lonely, and one day he invited me into his house. I was still 15 at the time. He asked me why I was walking down a neighborhood with so many PDF files, and I blurted out everything. I told him my reason why I've been doing it. He seemed hesitant at first, believing it was a trick, but after convincing him, I got my wish, and that same hour we did things that I won't get into. I've never seen him again, and after that my interest in the activity waned down. I'm now 17 and I've never went a day without regretting it. So you voluntarily wanted to get yourself diddled by diddlers? Maybe you're into that stuff. Like, I don't know whether like it's wrong for me to say that like that's a bad thing for you to be into, but I mean it's a little bit definitely illegal for them at least. I think you might need help, but you say you're 17 now and you don't like doing that stuff anymore, and so I think you're sort of like, you know, you're sort of like your brain is developing. But I mean, okay, maybe you need some like trauma therapy or something. This is my female friend's story, by the way. One day my teacher asked me to come to his classroom for extra credit, and he explained that if I had fun with him, he would give me extra credit. I needed that credit because I was failing and my mom was going to kill me if I failed in another class, and so every Saturday I would go to his house and have private fun lessons with him, and eventually he would call me up in class to slap my ass under the table, and somehow nobody knew. And then when I didn't want to do it anymore, he threatened to fail me, and so I kept going to his house on Saturdays, and sometimes his wife would watch, and sometimes she would also deliver condoms, and nobody knows still. that is potentially, that is not potentially illegal. That is definitely illegal. You're freaking your school teacher just for extra credit. Isn't that like blackmailing, bribery, and like illegal, like just in general illegal? And why is the wife just bystanding? The wife is just as guilty. Why isn't the wife doing anything? So the wife is happy to be cheated on with a high school student, or actually it's not clear whether you're a high school student. It could be a university student, but it's definitely it's definitely more than slightly questionable. I think you need help. You need to definitely speak up and do something about it. When I was 11, my 14-year-old brother whispered something along the lines of, "Come here, I have a secret for you," in my ear. Obviously I was excited and he took me out to our pool. He told me to put on a swimsuit and jump in, and so I ran upstairs and got dressed. When I came back, he was already in the pool, and then he finally revealed what he meant by secrets. He then slid off my swim trunks and started fricking me. It felt good, but now I realized I was a victim. Also, the fact that we are brothers is kind of weird. Should I confront him about it? I don't even know what to say about this. I mean, you're definitely a victim. Maybe you should talk to your brother about it. I'm gonna say this is, I think your brother definitely needs help. Maybe you should seek therapy as well for this. On March 12th, 2015, I tried to get my dog to lick my wiener by putting peanut butter on my dingling, and I didn't know I was allergic, and so my dingle grew in width by 3x the size and my airway closed, and so I went to the ER and got surgeries to fix it, and I was saved, but I was also grounded for 8 months. Why is this so oddly specific? March 12th, 2015. Do you remember this as the day you figured out that you were anaphylactic to peanut butter? But I mean, what a weird way to find out that you're allergic to peanut butter. But maybe you were allergic to dogs. Like maybe when the dog licked your dingling, like the saliva from the dog reacted with your dingling. But I mean, this could have ended up like fatal. You could have actually died from this. Imagine dying because you put peanut butter on your dingling because you wanted your dog to lick it. That is definitely slightly questionable. I think Giratina is the hottest Pokemon ever. I mean, a straight body, 6 legs, a flat face. Who wouldn't want to smash? Okay, let's just pull up a photo of Giratina for reference. This was from Pokemon Platinum. This was the first Pokemon game I ever played. So you want to smash this? This is really the hottest Pokemon ever. I think you need to get some help. You definitely need some help. When I was 13, I used to goon to a picture of my cousin's GTA Online character. I'd usually goon to it at noon, but sometimes I'd do it around midnight. One day, my sister caught me gooning to it, so she told my cousin. I'm still embarrassed about the whole thing. You used to goon to a GTA Online character. Pixels. It's a 3D render of a human being. And you're 13 years old, bro. Did you not have internet access? Like, was there nothing else you could have done it to? Like, it had to be the GTA Online character? And why are you so specific with it? You do it at noon? Like, you had some sort of, like, schedule? Like, a daily schedule? I think I'm gonna say that it's slightly questionable. You know, like, I understand. Sometimes, you know, the GTA Online characters can be kind of hot. But, like, okay, yeah. There was really nothing else you could have done it to. When I was 13, I was talking to this dude. He said it was 14. He was really nice to me, and we talked a lot and called a lot, and he liked to help me with my mental health problems. But one day he called me around midnight and I did answer, and he said to me that he would like to date, and of course I said yes. But around 2 weeks into the relationship, he started acting weird by saying really sexual things about my body, and so I tried to look up his name on other platforms, and so I went to Instagram first and found his account. And when I scrolled through the pictures, I found out he was a 43-year-old man with a wife, and I was gonna break up with him, but I knew that he lived close to me, and so I was scared of him finding me or stalking me, and so I waited 3 more weeks, and then I finally just blocked him. Okay, that is a little bit of an awkward situation. So you pretty much almost got EDP'd. Well, I mean, I'm glad you figured it out that he was an old man, but yeah, okay, that could have ended up extremely badly. But I'm gonna be honest, I know 100% what platform this was on. I guarantee this was on Discord. That's why I am not a big fan of Discord. I think Discord is one of the most like cyber unsafe platforms on the internet. So I'm gonna say this is, I mean, it wasn't really your fault. So I'm gonna say it's like in between calm and slightly questionable. One time back when I was 4, me and my cousin, who was also 4, had a hot ass cousin, and that cake was massive. So me and my cousin decided to make a plan to pull down her pants and see how big her cake was. So I was chosen to pull her pants down. So I went to do it and pulled her pants down, and damn, that ass was crazy. So we ran away and somehow she didn't find out. So all I remember was that ass. What? Is this like some Alabama type beat? Okay, your cousin had a fat ass, and so, okay. I mean, you were 4 at the time, but like, still, slightly questionable behavior. In 7th grade, I was friends with this girl. Me and her were good friends, better friends than we should have been. I'll leave that there. One time during lunch, me and her were sitting next to each other, talking, laughing, that stuff. All of a sudden, she accidentally rubbed my hand with my thigh. This startled me, and so I jumped, and she apologized, but that feeling never went away. 2 classes from then, I had a class presentation, and I was very light switch sound on. Okay, so I think he was bricked up. I thought it would go away after 1 class, but it didn't. Halfway through my second to last period, and 1 before my presentation, I asked my teacher if I could use the bathroom. I went and I cooked the beef, choked the chicken, glazed my donuts. Thankfully, I was unbricked, and I was safely able to present to the class. Okay, I guess that's definitely a way to unbrick yourself before a class presentation. But I mean, to be fair, it is extremely awkward when you're presenting to the class and everyone is just staring at your dingling because it's just like massively bricked up. So honestly, I think I might say this is calm. Like, I fully understand where you're coming from. Okay, so I was bored one day and I got curious, and so I searched up Skibidi Toilet Corn on the hub, and believe it or not, it was there. The surprise on my face when the same video was mentioned a day later in your reading hub comments video. What has my life come to? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I've been curious to search it up, but I just haven't searched it up. But I mean, it's slightly questionable that you've gone and actually searched it up. When I was 13, my parents were strict in monitoring my phone and checking on the network to see if I was on some gooning sites. And so I was so desperate to goon that I had to go to my gooner homeboy's crib. And so I used his internet to goon together sometimes. But he was older than me, so he pretty much got the battle pass of gooning. So pretty much he was actually getting stuff out of his dingling while I wasn't able to get the milk out of the... Okay, what are you talking about? So I was trying to think of a method to goon in my crib without getting caught. And so that same guy showed me a gooner game and he downloaded it for me, and he showed me how to hide it on my Android phone, and the game was offline, and so I could goon it without any evidence. I played the game and it had insane jiggle physics and a storyline. I low-key got on the plot and forgot about gooning to that game. So at the time when I was 13, the game was unfinished. So fast forward to now, I'm 17. Now the game has just released their final version, and I downloaded it not to goon, but because the lore is kind of insane. Okay, this is an insane story. So instead of going on the internet to goon, you had to goon to an offline mobile game. I assume this was some sort of like anime game. So you were just gooning to anime girls. But you said your homeboy has the battle pass of gooning. What are you on about? I think you definitely need some help. I think you genuinely need some help. One time I was eating chips in the cafeteria at school when my friend's boyfriend walked in. I saw him search for my friend, and then he came up to me to ask if I could see his friend, and I said no until he walked away. I saw a random person that looked like my friend, and I could tell that she was waiting for her boyfriend, and so I called him back and pointed to his girlfriend. Then he came up to the girl, hugging and kissing her on the lips playfully, but then his real girlfriend came up to him and said, "That's not your girlfriend, I'm your girlfriend." He was kissing his sister the whole time. This is a bit of a confusing story. I mean, how do you confuse your girlfriend with your sister? Unless your intention was to hook up with your sister. Okay, this is definitely a little bit strange. I think they definitely need some help. Definitely need help. One time I was in the shower and I realized that my butt wasn't the cleanest thing ever, and I didn't really know how to clean it. I tried using washcloths and those shower pom-pom luffy things, but it didn't work. I thought it was a great idea to shove the whole bottle of soap up my ass. That obviously didn't work, and I think I got cut or something. Later, I was trying to use the bathroom and it really hurt, and so I told my mom, and she asked, "Do you know how that could have happened?" And I was too embarrassed to say that I put soap up my ass because I didn't know how to clean it, and so I tried to lie about something like, "Oh, I slipped and fell on a bottle of soap." Now I'm pretty sure my mom thought I shoved it up my ass in a dirty way, and I'm pretty sure I bleed now sometimes when I poo. I mean, honestly, like me personally, I don't know whether this is like a weird thing, but like, I don't wash my ass. I feel like when I wipe my ass when I poo, I think that's good enough. And so when I shower, I just let like the water just like go past my ass. I think like the velocity of the water is good enough for me personally. Although sometimes I do definitely get like a few itchy like dingleberries. But I mean, you were 12 at the time and your first thought was to shove a bottle of soap up your ass in order to clean it. Like, what do you think that would do? Like, is the cap off and you shove the open bottle of soap up your ass and wait, what are you gonna do? Squeeze all the soap up there? You think that's gonna be enough to clean it? But instead it ends up shattering inside your ass, and now it's like cut, and you probably have permanent damage to your asshole. I think it's slightly questionable. That is definitely slightly questionable behavior. Me, who's been hating on furries for years, I mean years, to the point where I had a friend whom I had a crush on later turned into a furry, and I gave him as much hate as possible. But today, I, with no shame in my eyes, I'm saying that I have goon to furry type. Bro, that dog girl was so hot, I swear to God, low key. Okay. You know what? Fair play. I don't really think that's weird. I mean, like furry, they are pretty hot sometimes, I think. Maybe, probably. I don't think I've watched furry corn yet, but I'm gonna say that it's calm. You know what? There's nothing wrong with it. It's pretty calm. One time in middle school, my girlfriend made me eat her period blood. I remember we got into a big argument before lunch, and then when we sat down, she was still mad, and I didn't know it at the time. So when I asked her to get some ketchup, she got up and was gone for a solid 10 minutes, and I just thought the lunch line was long, and when she handed me a cup for ketchup, it looked weird and smelled weird, and she insisted I tried it, and I just wanted to not have her mad at me. And so obviously I took a bite and immediately spat it out, and when I looked at her, she was just laughing her ass off, and I was obviously confused until she said that was my period blood. And I kid you not, I went into the bathroom stall and projectile vomited and then broke up after with her. Okay, that is, yeah, why is your, okay, is that, okay. I mean, honestly, good thing you broke up with her. She's definitely a little bit crazy. I mean, like, in the future, maybe instead of, you know, feeding you her, like, period blood as ketchup, maybe she'll, like, you know, try to assassinate you and kidnap you. I think she definitely needs to get some help. I think from your perspective, perspective, I think like you did nothing wrong. You were just a victim. I was insanely down bad for this girl I knew in high school. We were friends, but I wish we were more than that. I've done some insanely down bad things, but the worst one has to be when I finally got her to agree to come over to my house when my parents weren't home so that we could watch the movie Up, because neither of us had seen it. My goal? To get her to sit on me. How? Let me explain. Our couch was really small. I'm talking 2-seater small. So the plan was for me to sit on one side, and then when she would sit on the other side, I would lay down below her with the perfect timing to get sat on. I even planted the TV remote under the pillow that was on her side so I could convince her that I was just reaching for the remote. However, I ended up chickening out at the last second and just used my hand instead of the full body. I didn't quite get what I was hoping for, but at least she laughed it off instead of getting mad. After that little incident, I never did anything down bad again, and it paid off because I eventually confessed both my love for her and my true intentions about the invite. She told me she had known the whole time about what I felt about her and that it was only a matter of time before I would make a move. She also told me that the only reason why she was willing to give me a second chance was because she noticed how I was getting myself together after the incident. That was 15 years ago and we are still dating to this day, so moral of the story, don't be down bad. Okay, why was this so, like, intricately planned out? Like, the whole plan was to get her to sit on your lap. Couldn't you have just done it the normal way? Like, couldn't you have just gotten to get to know her, eventually, you know, ask her out, and then eventually you can do, like, the lap sitting stuff? But instead, you had to try hide it, like, make it seem like an accident. I think the way you plotted this out is a little bit creepy. I think you need some help. I think you might need some help.